Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Geek Centurions. I'm here with my brother.
Yeah, my name's Joe.
Oh my goddamn, you always do this to me. And we also got Daniel with us. How's it going,
What's
guys?
up? What's up?
Yeah,
Just every now and then, it's just a chill day. But it's a very quiet episode today. But no, it's good to see you guys again. I live with you, so I see you every day.
yeah.
So, but no, it's so we got some good, interesting news coming out of Marvel, especially since today they announced that hey, Spider-Man 3 is getting not only Jamie Foxx back as Electro, but we're also getting Doctor Strange, and it's just everyone's just like, what's going on? We got good old Jamie Foxx back as Electro, who's not going to be blue this time, even though I kind of prefer the just being just made of electricity Electro look.
Yeah.
We might get the costume, might get an updated version of the costume, which is nice because that costume is kind of ridiculous.
You mean these little star-shaped mask and everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that costume is freaking cool. That's what makes Electro, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Sure. And so Doctor Strange is coming in, and he's having a movie about the multiverse. And now there's rumors of what's his name, Mister Always Running in the movie.
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise playing as Iron Man, and he was in The Office. I'm forgetting. I said his name earlier before we recorded.
John
Krasinski as Captain America, supposedly, and because they were both up for those roles at one point before we got Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans.
Yeah, like they were originally they were. I think those were the original actors, planned to be in there, but they switched with something else.
Yeah, and then supposedly Kristen Dunst from Spider-Man 1, the original trilogy Spider-Man.
Yeah, the Sam Raimi one.
Yeah, MJ is reportedly coming back, and so is Dean DeHaan from the Amazing Spider-Man movies. So this has begun a whole conversation of like, what is Marvel doing a multiverse movie? Are we going to end up getting a Spider-Verse movie? So this is going to be our discussion right now. Is like, how do we feel about some of these announcements? What are our thoughts on them? And we'll end it with some speculations. Also, apparently, Deadpool actor Ryan Reynolds is getting a huge deal to be in the movies, bigger than the one that Robert Downey Jr. has.
Yeah, that's very interesting news.
Yeah, plus it's gonna be fun to just us speculating about shit.
Yeah.
So let's start off with you, Daniel. What are your thoughts on Electro being back?
You see, I don't mind Electro being back. Hopefully they do his character a little better because I don't see Jamie Foxx being the nerd, like how he was portrayed in the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, it was a little weird.
Yeah,
I always thought that was like the weakest part of Electro and the Amazing Spider-Man 2. Mm-hmm. Just sort of like how he's sort of a obsessive fanboy for Spider-Man.
Oh, he was.
Yeah,
he was. I don't know, like you see him like being all dorky and stuff. Like he has his electro themed cake in his fridge and everything. I just don't see that. I just see like a cool guy trying so hard to be a dork.
It's what's bothering me too about that is the whole like Spider-Man's my best friend. He's like he's my best friend. He knows me. And then there's this whole moment where like this guy jokes that oh yeah, I'm Spider-Man. He's like, you're not Spider-Man. And starts like violently shaking him. I'm like, Jesus Christ, Jamie Foxx, calm down.
Yeah, like
God.
He just somehow developed like a unhealthy, relationship with Spider-Man after one meeting with him.
It's just wow. Okay, and I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Jamie Foxx is a good actor.
Yeah,
he is. It's just that the movie there were some flaws and some awkward moments.
They took a weird direction with Electro. Who knows how they'll do it in this one? I mean, obviously, with this, they're bringing in basically the Sinister Six. We might get that at some point in the movies. Who knows? But the fact that we're getting Jamie Foxx again, that's the weird thing. Because like that just opens our minds. Mm-hmm. So, Jay, your thoughts on Jamie Foxx being back?
I don't know. It's super weird. I feel like there aren't a whole lot of times where actors will portray a role that they've done before in a different context.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think when we think about like J.K. Simmons,
yes,
in Far From Home to be J. Jonah Jameson again, but he's not the same Jay Jonah. You
No.
know, he doesn't have the hair. He runs sort of the Daily Bugle, which is like an online news thing instead of being a newspaper thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, but in this case, it's gonna be different. It's gonna be something similar, right? Where Jamie Foxx is coming back as Electro, but he's gonna be a different type of Electro than the one seen in.
He's gonna be yellow instead of blue.
Yeah, he might be yellow, right? So that's super weird to me, right?
Mhm.
Like with Jay Jonah, it's kind of like a bit role for J.K. Simmons or whatever, right? It's not like some sort of it's not like being like probably one of the big antagonists of the movie.
No, we're not gonna have Peter taking photos of Spider-Man for the Daily Bugle.
Yeah, like it's this like opens up like some sort of like crazy like things where it's sort of like how different is this Electro going to be from the Amazing Spider-Man's Electro, right? Like, is there gonna are they gonna poke fun at it or what are they gonna do, right? It seems so weird.
Yeah, and I guess it's my turn to give my thoughts. I didn't really like Jamie Foxx's portrayal as Electro. It felt really like, what is going on kind of thing for me. And not to say, again, Jamie Foxx is a great actor. But that role was so weird. It's so like, it didn't really capture sort of what Electro is. And this is coming from a guy who loves Spider-Man. And maybe I don't even know, I don't really care that much about Electro. I think that right now, currently, Electro's a woman, so that would have been cool to do, personally. But, it's interesting enough to see what Marvel, because the thing is, Kevin Feige, right? He has a master plan. Like he doesn't do stuff without like playing it out 10 steps ahead.
Right.
So clearly, this is some kind of setup. We're all talking about multiverse. We don't even know if it is going to be a multiverse situation. It's probably not, but it's you can't help but to think about it because especially now since we're getting Doctor Strange, and I don't remember what is the time release. I don't know if the new Doctor Strange movie is coming out beforehand or is it after the Spider-Man movie. Like, where does it fit? Because if before, then I could totally see it being kind of possibly a multiverse thing. If not, it might lead into the multiverse. I don't know, because especially considering how Wanda, she's going to be in Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. And currently, if you've seen the trailers for WandaVision, it's crazy warping reality. So we might see something like that. I don't know. But for Jamie Foxx coming back, whether it means multiverse or not, I'm very excited to see what they can do with this character. They've done really creative stuff with a lot of Spider-Man villains, both to like bring them into like popular culture, but also like revamping them to be more interesting. Mysterio, he's not a movie magic kind of guy. He's more of a tech guy, and it's just not just him; it's a group of people.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, that's actually kind of smart. And then you have what is it, Falcon? No, it's Vulture. The way they took that character was a lot more interesting than I would have thought of in terms of how it was in the comics, where he's just an old man.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm with you guys. It's great to see Jamie Foxx back, and just the fact that someone look this up for me. Is Multiverse of Madness before or after Spider-Man 3?
I think it might be after.
Like I'm not even sure they have announced when Spider-Man 3 is supposed to come out.
I supposedly I think they should be starting, actually filming the movie. I can't remember, but it's just real crazy. I like how all like the two out of three of us is just looking up the phone and stuff right now.
It came out in 2007.
You son of a bitch.
Well, that's what Wikipedia tells me.
That's the wrong Spider-Man 3.
Let's see. So what is it? It's not listed. I'm looking at the schedule for Phase 4. This is before they confirmed Spider-Man will be in the MCU for a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
From what I'm seeing, Doctor Strange will be. Yeah, I think it will be before Spider-Man 3.
Oh, so there's a chance we might actually go into multiverse. Because that's the idea. Because Doctor Strange is having a movie about the multiverse. That's what's getting everyone excited about. And Daniel, I know you're probably the most excited about it because, hey, this is gonna be. I'm all for weird, crazy kind of horror thing for all Marvel movies. So, and we're getting that now, especially since we're also getting Sam Raimi back, who was in the first trilogy,
Yeah.
which
Oh,
is gonna be wow.
actually, my mistake. I'm looking at it right here. It's Wikipedia, so I don't know if it's correct, but usually it is correct. But Spider-Man actually comes first, then the year after it's Doctor Strange.
Okay, that's now. Does that exactly mean that it's multiverse, or it leads into the multiverse?
Who knows?
That's the question everyone's having. Is like, okay, are we actually doing a multiverse thing, or are we just like, just teasing it? Because there's a lot of reports now, and I don't know how you guys feel about those reports. And you guys can happily like say what you guys think.
I mean, I think there might be a chance that it could happen,
Hmm.
especially because after after going back and remembering, oh shit, I've completely forgotten they were also making this movie too.
Hmm.
It was supposed to come out earlier this year as well. Let me see, what was it called? Yeah, it was Morbius. That's what it was.
Oh, that's right.
Oh
And
my
the
god!
reason I went back to that is because I think the actor's name was Michael Douglas that played Vulture, right?
Michael Douglas. No, it's Michael Keaton.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, Keaton. He was in Spider-Man: Homecoming as the Vulture, and in the trailer at the end of it, you see Keaton right there, meeting up with Morbius too. So we don't know if the Sony films are starting to incorporate their stuff with the MCU or it's just their own thing. Because I know they're trying to get like their villains their own movies and stuff, and they even had like conversation about having Tom Holland, have his Spider-Man, be a part of the series with Venom as well.
That's right. They did mention that.
Honestly, I'm just thankful that I completely forgot that Morbius was supposed to come out
Oh
this
yeah, no, he
year.
hates the Morbius movie.
I just don't like the idea. I don't like the concept. But I'm just like, man, if there's one thing that I'm thankful for in this year, it's that I don't get to see Morbius.
So next year.
Says you.
I mean, I
Uh,
completely forgot that he was an actual Marvel character until that trailer came out. I think I only seen maybe like 3 episodes of him from the animated series, and that's it.
yeah, and even then he was just like, this, this Morbius, just shut up. I don't care that you're a fucking vampire now. You can't be with Felicia Hardy. Shut up. But no, so with these weird rumors of Kristen Dunst staying behind, alternate Iron Man, alternate Cap. Do you think that's a real thing they're gonna try to do? Well, not just in Spider-Man, but in the Multiverse of Madness, because we already said our piece of Spider-Man. Like it's cool to have Jamie Foxx in. This possibly means that we're getting multiverse. But the idea of the multiverse in the Marvel films, what are your guys' thoughts on that? And do you think any of these rumors could be true?
I mean, it could happen. Marvel, they're with Disney. They certainly have the money, to have Christian
Mm,
Durst and everyone else come back. And by the way, if that is true, I want them to bring back Tobey Maguire. And, and what was that now? Oh, right. So,
Andrew
so
Andrew
yes,
Garfield?
hold on.
You talking about Andrew Garfield too?
I mean,
Maybe.
he has his fans, so I guess I'll allow it. Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think, Joey? Um,
Yeah, I mean, if these rumors of a multiverse are very true, then I think, yeah, it's gonna be super interesting because I mean, I don't want to do quick comparisons at the moment, but when we look at DC and how they're handling, I
mhm.
guess, the idea of like like verse movies, I guess. They're very sort of. I mean, they're very sort of like they have like standalone movies that
Mhm.
don't connect to the main DC
Mhm.
like movie timeline, right? Joker is obviously in its own standalone universe thing.
Mhm.
You got other stuff that's gonna be like that too. I'm assuming.
Yeah, Ron Pattinson's Batman.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, their approach is gonna be. It seems to be more like they're just gonna be out there. They're not gonna say anything.
Mhm.
It's just like these are just standalones. They don't connect to our main DC
Mhm.
storyline in the movies. Here with Marvel, if this is potentially a thing with having Spider-Man 3 and Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness, uh, setting up a multiverse like straight up front and explaining to like the general audience that hey, we're gonna be having movies. All our movies are essentially going to be semi-connected because they're all part of this spanning multiverse thing. And maybe every now and again the multiverses will collide or something like that.
I mean, I feel like this is their. I really don't hope it's not. This isn't gonna be all it is. But part of me doesn't want it to be like a quick explanation. This is how we're gonna get the X-Men in, or this is how we get the Fantastic Four in. They're in a different multiverse. I feel like that's too easy, and that's very much what like DC did with their TV shows. Because remember, they did a Crisis on Infinite Earths, which is the multiverse collapsing and stuff. And hey, look, there's the Titans. They're over there in Earth 6 something, or Supergirl's on Earth whatever, and Black Lightning is in this Earth, and now we're all going to be jumping in between each Earth and stuff like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, that's a very cool thing for the Flash, but I don't know if I would want that for. I don't want Marvel to do that. Just to explain this is how we're going to get them all in. Now, don't get me wrong, if they were like to say fight each other, that'd be a different story. Like, it wouldn't be cool if the X-Men that we've known and loved for like these past few years fight off the Avengers now in sort of a weird Avengers versus X-Men movie.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I can do that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I think when it comes to like the multiverse idea, I feel like I don't know. I feel like there's like kind of somewhat multiple. I mean, the Fantastic Four, you can like. I think there's multiple ways to get them through it. And it doesn't have to be a multiverse. The X-Men, I think they already have like a perfectly good like I guess excuse to try to like fit them in, and it's through the snap, right?
Yeah.
Like I think it's mentioned in game that like the snap caused some
huge gamma waves kind of thing.
Yeah, so it's like powerful energies that come out of Earth, and
Yeah.
the fact that it was at the epicenter twice, with Thanos snapping and then Tony snapping,
and Hulk snapping.
Oh right, and Hulk also snapping to bring everybody back.
Mm-hmm.
You could in theory like
say it awakens the X gene.
Yeah. Like you could in theory like I think you could just be like all this explosion of like the cosmic energies of the Infinity Stones causes certain populations of humans to have their X gene, which sort of activate, and thus we start getting mutants everywhere.
And so that would be pretty badass.
So kind of like an Infamous then.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, I like that idea a lot more. But it still would be pretty cool to. I mean, you're wrong. I'm saying I wouldn't like that idea, but if they deliver in a way where I'm like, okay, you know what, I'm good with that. I'll be fine. Now, here's the thing. How would you guys introduce the multiverse, though? Because, like, TV-wise, I think it's a little easier. Movie-wise, I think it's going to be a little more difficult. I'm talking more about general audiences.
Right.
Like, we know, because we indulge in this sort of, like, nerd thing, this little geek culture thing. So we know about the multiverse. We know about Miles and Gwen Stacy, Ghost Spider, and stuff like that. But does the general audience would think they would know about it, or do you think that we have to like introduce it in a way for them to get it?
I mean, maybe not too much, but because like people, we already been exposed to some the other universes Spider-Man thanks to Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Spider-Man Noir, Peter Porker, what was
Penny
the other one? Penny Parker, and people like now that we're getting a sequel, people want to know what could be the next Spider-Man to be part of the Spider-Verse.
They confirm that
Toy Spider-Man's going to be in there.
Oh yeah, Japanese Spider-Man's going to be in there. Joyce Spider-Man.
The one that actually started a Super Sentai trend in Japan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Joy just wants him to say that one line.
Emissary from Hell, Spider-Man.
That's all he wants.
I just really hope because I'm assuming they're gonna keep the sort of the 2D animation style that they've. It's 3D, but it looks very sort of 2D.
Mm-hmm.
I just want it like this might just sound very like
Mm-hmm.
just make him like way more anime than Penny is, and then like have the transformation of Leopardon
Yeah,
to the giant like Megazord thing be like something out of like straight out of fucking Gurren Lagann. That shit would be tight.
just like every anime out there.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like I don't know. I just like imagine that stuff. Right?
Yeah, now
No,
that they
that dude.
confirmed that Toy Spider-Man was going to be there, I wanted them to go ahead and now bring in Spiders, man.
Oh my god. No, and I think it's a, but I feel like it being an anime movie, it's a little more easier to like get.
Yeah.
Like suspend your disbelief.
Yeah,
Okay.
where I feel like in live action movies, you're gonna need a little more, time to let that sink in. Where you're like, oh, there's alternate Spider-Men, there's alternate Captain Americas and Tony Starks, which would be cool to see. Don't get me wrong. I mean, because we're all fucking fans of these things. But like, we don't. I don't know how the general audience would feel. I see the wheels are turning in your heads.
Yeah, like, I think it's more. Yeah, I think what you're trying to say is it's very, I guess, similar to the whole time travel explanation in Endgame, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, where they have that scene where they sort of just try, where the characters themselves are explaining time travel to like
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that both the characters and the audience understand that hey, all right, we know that you've all seen time travel movies before, Back to the Future and all this stuff, right? Our time travel is going to work like this, and hopefully that makes sense to most of you, right? So that way we aren't necessarily screwing up with stuff. And to be fair, you still have like a bunch of people, I think, still just going on and on about like the time travel makes no sense. It doesn't. It's supposed to be crazy ripples of time or whatever, and it's like the characters explained. Hulk explained it, right? He explained time travel to the characters and the audience.
He literally looked at he looked at the camera and was like, "You got that, audience?"
So I mean, I can kind of understand your worrying.
Yeah.
That sort of worry that people might not be like,
mm-hmm.
how does this multiverse shit work or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of get what you say, how you feel about that.
And I'm not saying that they don't know.
Yeah.
My thing is, will you explain it in a way where it's going to be easy for them to, to understand? Because, like, we've all read, us three has read comics. We can accept the stupidity of the stupidity or, like, just the what the fuckery of, like, of Magic's rocks being able to alter the universe.
Right.
We can accept that.
Yeah.
Most people who probably don't read comics probably wouldn't be like, wait, what? How does that work? Or any form of fantasy sci-fi kind of thing.
Yeah.
And again, who knows? Maybe that's how they'll do it. It's been mostly me. Enjoy talking. Daniel, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I never really saw like alternate universes, to be complex in either way. So it's not like time travel or like, yeah, if you think way too hard on it, it's going to get a bit confusing about how stuff works.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I always see like alternate dimensions and stuff like that. You just go to one place and that's it. I know there's a couple of rules to that, like you're not supposed to find your alternative self or something like that,
or the universe will implode.
Yeah, like both universes implode, or whatever, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
or this alternate portal, whatever dimension. It's the reverse. If you're good in this one place, then on the other side of that portal, you're evil, and we know it because that person has a goatee.
Yeah, I mean,
or if you're Cartman's case, you're just automatically the good guy.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. So yeah, like I don't really necessarily see it as a problem. Like, yeah, there's a few rules, but usually people don't think about those rules at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And yeah, probably I'm just like overthinking it. I'm just like, not giving people enough credit. But multiverse can be really weird and really out there. And don't get me wrong, I love the fact that Marvel's basically saying, listen, we can't do a lot of the stories, but we're gonna go out and we're gonna go all fucking nuts on it. Let's go. Multiverse, let's go.
Yeah.
Possible Spider-Verse film, you got it. Which my question, I'll bring that up on how we can do Spider-Verse, because my one worry is that it's too much like the animated film, but we'll get to that.
Right.
And who knows, we might do a certain event based on that comic that was well known and well loved, and I would love to see that animated. I mean, we're also getting some cool stuff too. Like we're getting Kang the Conqueror, a well-known time traveler, time traveling villain slash good guy, depending on where how he views time. He's coming in. He's gonna be, and he's not gonna be a one-off villain. He's gonna be like the Loki of the show of this phase.
All right.
So that's gonna be great.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? We might get some crazy shit out of that. But who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Unless you guys have anything to say.
No, I mean it's gonna be super interesting if all this sort of like I guess the Marvel confirms that we're delving into multiverse stuff and shenanigans ensue.
Well, I think you're saying how far we're going with the multiverse.
Oh.
I think that's what you're saying, right? How far we're going?
Yeah. How far does it go, right?
Yeah.
Thinking about it now, I think Spider-Man might be the introduction to multiverses because, again, we just went back and checked the schedule releases, and Spider-Man comes first. So we might get a glimpse of that, we'll have an introduction, learning the basics about everything like that. And then once we get to the Doctor Strange film, that's when shit goes really deep, and then we see all this stupid stuff, and the madness behind the multiverse.
Hence the multiverse of madness.
Right.
It was in the name the whole time, guys. Come on. He went to the multiverse. He went mad. There you go. It's gonna be that. This is the telltale when we claps. Everyone claps. But yeah. So this is what we get to more of the speculation. You can kind of consider the other parts of speculation. But let's talk about how cool it'd be if they went full, multiverse. And I have some ideas. Okay. So hear me out. So if we are going with introduction of Spider-Man first, having the big multiverse, obviously one question is, what about Miles?
Miles does exist in the universe, in the MCU already, because we meet.
Sure, you're right.
Donald Glover is the Prowler.
Yeah.
But he isn't full Prowler.
That's right.
Yeah, he's not full Prowler. He's street crime Prowler, I think. He doesn't have.
He's before all the stuff.
Yeah, he's before going all supervillain essentially.
Because he does call Miles at the end. Was it the post-credit scene?
I think so. Yeah, but yeah, Miles is a character in this universe. Yeah. So I don't know, about the I don't know, the Miles thing might happen, as in it's an alternate Miles coming in to fill the role, or legit Miles in the MCU gets spider powers and joins up with Peter.
Okay, because I brought some examples. That's why I have these books on it.
Oh, that's why you have those there.
Yeah. So I got the comic Spider-Man, which is the first time Peter Parker of the universe that we all know he's from goes to a different multiverse. Goes to the multiverse, goes to a different universe where Miles is Spider-Man. So here's my thought: what if, to start off the multiverse, instead, because normally in the comics it's an older Peter meeting a young Miles. What if we met an older Miles, a young Peter?
That would be kind of an interesting, I guess, role reversal.
Because we know Miles, he became Spider-Man because of the death of Peter Parker. Now he meets this sort of young, new Peter and sort of becomes not a father figure, but an older brother figure.
Okay.
And he has to deal with the whole oh man, I lost the Peter of my world. I'm gonna make sure this Peter doesn't die or whatever, or that kind of cool stuff. Just to change it up a bit. But I'm saying that's the way. I think that's a great way. Basing off this book, Spider-Man, Brian Michael Bendis and all that stuff. I think that's the best way you can probably introduce the idea of the multiverse to people who haven't seen Spider-Verse, which come on, that movie's amazing.
Right.
Oscar winning.
Yeah.
It deserves to be watched.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I guess that's my thought. And you guys got any crazy ideas what they could do with the multiverse? Go at it.
well, let me think. I think Sony's like own movie universe outside of Spider-Man. I think they're their own separate universe.
Mm-hmm.
So I know again, like going back, like they have ideas and plans to bring Tom Holland into the other movies as well. So I mean, well, the movie is an MCU film, but it's still under Sony themselves. So technically, they do have access to the other films and even into the Spider Verse as well. So if they want to, we could have like a small little scene where Tom Holland's all animated and we see Miles and everyone else there.
Damn, that's a pretty good idea too.
Yeah. I think that like
that was an idea at one point. I think.
was it?
There was an idea in the Into the Spider Verse too, because like yeah, the original plan was like it was supposed to be like a small sight gig where Miles he accidentally crashed somewhere, and then we see like three people at a cafe. It was Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland like talking to each other, and they're like, "What the hell is that? What the hell's going on?" And then later on, it just goes by fast, and we all laugh at it because like it's funny because those three were Spider-Man.
Oh, okay.
See, I heard that supposedly they wanted Tobey Maguire to be the the old Spider-Man, the Peter B. Parker.
Right. Okay.
Was it? I think it was either that or the one that dies. I think it was supposed to be Peter B. Parker.
Like, aren't they both like Peter Benjamin Parkers?
Yeah, but they didn't put the B in the first one that died because that way this is Peter Parker A, this is Peter Parker B because he has the B in his name.
I guess.
Get it? Ha ha ha, and stuff like that. I don't know. You got any ideas for crazy multiple?
If we're starting off with Spider-Man, yeah, I think just like the rumors of what Kristen Dunst and Dane DeHaan possibly being in those movies. I think I guess in my brain I could kind of see it being sort of like because what we left off Far From Home with Peter's identity being revealed and pretty much most likely he's now public enemy number one and probably going to be a lot of villains going after him, right? So I guess in theory, what could happen is he gets help from Doctor Strange, possibly, or like he just somehow finds his way through the multiverse. He starts like jumping around, meeting all these different Spider-Men, while trying to somehow find a way to clear his name, or at least figure out a way to no longer have people no longer know that he is Spider-Man, and maybe the greatest shenanigans he meets, like saying, like Miles Morales from Into the Spider-Verse, he meets Ben Reilly somehow. Who knows? Maybe in a weird way we get Toei Spider-Man to show up.
You're trying really hard to put that guy in there, aren't you?
I just want him in something, please, for the love
You're
of God.
getting him, and it's called Into the Spider-Verse 2.
I can't wait any longer.
Look, I feel you, man. Like, I totally get you. Like, this is a strong reach, but since Sony made the TV show, maybe they can like probably put in the Spectacular Spider-Man in there somehow. I don't know how.
I missed that show so much.
That was such a good show, but then
Who knows? We get like the '90s Spider-Man as well. The Spider-Man, the early like Spider-Man like 3D animated show that was on MTV.
The one that was voiced by Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah,
that's
maybe drop some of that out of nowhere, but it's live action Neil Patrick Harris as Spider-Man, right? It's like, it's like, I don't know. It'd be really funny to me.
All right.
I don't know. This is a lot of weird shenanigans you can go, but
all I'm gonna picture him is like he's trying to hit on somebody as Spider-Man.
You're thinking about How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah,
right?
I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, okay, all right.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Spider-Verse would be, like I said earlier, Spider-Verse would be the intro of the idea of the multiverse. I mean, what do you think? What else do you guys want to see aside like just the intro with Spider-Verse? What other crazy stuff you want to see them do if we really do go full multiverse?
I wouldn't mind seeing like a little small horror scene just out of nowhere, just to mess with us. Like the one thing that always freaked me out when back with the '90s Spider-Man is like he would like, oh, the pain, it's horrible, and then suddenly he just grew out like an extra like two a pair of arms, and it becomes a spider monster beast.
Oh, he meets like the man spider.
Yeah, like the man spider. Like I wouldn't mind, Tom Holland, jumping into one universe for like a few seconds, and he sees it turn into a man spider, freaks out, and gets the hell out of there.
Okay, okay. Just to add on to that, there was one comic that in the Spider Verse comic, there was a Peter Parker who wasn't human. He was just a bunch of spiders
Yeah,
inside
that's
of
a
him.
lot. Spiders, man.
Yeah.
I think I need to read up more on Spider-Man.
So basically, what happens to Spider-Man? He fell down into like I think a spider pit, gets eaten alive by the spiders, and then all the spiders together they share the consciousness of Peter Parker. So you got like a billion spiders, formed together in the shape of a man, thinking they're the same person as Peter Parker.
You love that idea, don't you?
It's classic comics right there. Although I will say, if I remember correctly, in the Spider-Verse comics,
Yeah.
The Spider-Man from Marvel vs. Capcom does make a cameo.
He does.
So, I mean, I'm just saying, can we also just get a random scene where
we all agree this because all our thoughts are going to end up being on the Into the Spider-Verse movie rather than the live-action MCU.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like that would be kind of interesting because the sequel to Into the Spider-Verse probably will go bigger and bolder. I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
So
more Spider-Women too. They announced that.
Yeah, so it will be interesting if Marvel decides to use Spider-Man 3 as its big like showcase of like we're doing multiverse stuff.
Mm-hmm.
How is it like? How exactly different will it be to, Into the Spider-Verse, right? Or are they gonna essentially be like, oh yeah, Into the Spider-Verse is part of the multiverse as well, and it's part of our MCU multiverse as well.
Then at that point, we get that question: who plays the like live action versions of those characters?
Yeah,
which would be weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think Spider-Man stuff will be crazy.
So here's one. Here's an idea for a crazy out there multiverse thing they could do for the movies. So in comics, there's the Squadron Supreme, which is supposed to be like their version of the Justice League, or I think who are either from a different planet or something, or universe, or whatever. Have those guys come in, like the first big multiverse fight or whatever. Have those guys come in and like they're each played by someone who's played someone from the Justice League, either from animated or live action. Like imagine Tom Welling being sort of Marvel's version of Superman, Hyperion.
That's so potentially. See, here's the thing. Like, I can't think of any live action Green Lanterns besides Ryan Reynolds, and he's already Deadpool, and Deadpool is definitely going to be in the MCU at some point.
Oh, they said that he's apparently getting a bigger check than Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, so
we'll talk about that in a minute.
I don't necessarily know how that would pull off, but I mean, yeah, like who would play Batman? We already have Michael Keaton in there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, would George Clooney come back for that? Would Val Kilmer come back?
I want George Clooney. That'd be funnier.
Speaking of Deadpool, one great way to introduce him to the MCU would probably be a funny side gag. I mean, Disney, they own 20th Century Fox now, so they have access to those movies too.
I've said this before. Like, all they need to do is just like, there's a big battle, right? Spider-Man's fighting Electro, and there's a piece of rubble from a building falling off, and it lands near like a coffee table. And it's Deadpool reading the newspaper, and he just puts the newspaper down like, huh, and just keeps on reading. Like that's all he does. Like he's just somehow in the background just doing something normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like doing like a weird like Stanley.
Yeah, that's what you
cameo.
gotta do. You just gotta make them all. You gotta make them the Stanley.
And so at one moment, like, that's it. You know what? I'm getting myself involved. All right. You messed with my chimichangas.
You mess with my
I now have to be involved.
I now have to cap them motherfucker.
I'm about to use the one F word in this PG-13 movie.
And it's not gonna be sexual.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the way I was thinking is like during like maybe like one scene where like they're jumping multiverses, Spider-Man like he accidentally just goes into the 20th Century Fox universe of X-Men movies and Marvel films, and so he comes across all that weird stuff, and then he meets up Deadpool for like a second, and goes back to the action. Then at the post-credit scene, and it's like, well, I just found out that Disney bought us, so I'm gonna go hang out with my MCU friends. So he jumps through one of the probably like a portal and goes into the MCU and hangs out with them.
And every time he tries to curse, he's just bleeped out.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I can imagine that stuff. At least with like big crossover movies, he just gets constantly bleeped. It's like, does no one else notice this, or is it just me? How come I can't say bad words anymore?
Like,
Yeah.
he's just like, and he just like censors himself to me like you mother fudge.
You mother fudger. I'll tear your, nether regions apart.
He's like, God damn, it's hard for me to do this. Oh, the HE double hockey sticks.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I can't say hell. Oh hell,
Yeah.
you son of a frick. Just keep on going. I mean, I was planning to like end it there, but with the Deadpool topic, I guess we can keep going. With the multiverse, like we're just sticking with Spider-Man. I was thinking like going more like, what else would we like to see? What could Doctor Strange do?
I mean, in terms of Doctor Strange, I guess
Mm-hmm.
whatever his role, he might be like, if they are doing multiverse stuff, he might be the one to essentially pull Spider-Man back
Mm-hmm.
to their MCU verse or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, and then probably maybe set up for the fact that like, now I'm curious about this multiverse thing,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Do you think we're still gonna get like a Avengers versus X-Men, like the idea I threw out earlier?
I don't know. Like, see, I think it's a possibility but in my opinion, like if they somehow manage to convince Hugh Jackman to be part of that X-Men team and come back for that one little hurrah, then I would say probably they could do it like that. But I don't know. I think they definitely want to try to make their X-Men part of the MCU in like a different way.
Yeah, there's a bunch of ways you can do it, really. Daniel, what about you? What do you think?
Is he Hugh Jackman coming back? That is going to be a huge maybe because I know Hugh and Patrick Stewart, and they said they're down like doing X-Men films now. And,
They ended it in a perfect way.
Yeah, and like, have they ever confirmed a villain for the Multiverse of Madness, or they haven't yet?
I don't think they have.
All we know is that Wanda's going to be in it.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to have a significant role in that story.
We know Sam Raimi's going to be a part of it, which.
So if they haven't confirmed a villain for that, maybe we can see a small glimpse of it in the Spider-Man movie. Like maybe Doctor Strange will look outside and we see Shuma Gorath by chance.
Ooh, that would be bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would be pretty interesting. Just a weird giant tentacle monster just trying to destroy the world.
One-eyed tentacle monster.
Yeah.
Like big as the sun. That blocks the sun.
Yeah, you just
some sort of eldritch horror.
It's like, well, that's gonna be a problem.
Mm-hmm. And only Doctor Strange can do it.
Yeah.
And then he gets Wanda to help him out. Heck, the Wanda show looks crazy though too.
Yeah, like I wonder if that will factor into any multiverse shenanigans.
She breaks reality for the multiverse to pour in. For Shuma Gorath to come in and mess with the multiverse. Well, I don't know if Shuma Gorath is a multiversal threat though.
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe like Dormammu will come back in some way. Right?
Yeah,
especially since the Time Stone is no longer a thing. So how exactly will Strange protect the world against Dormammu.
Mm.
I thought it is. I mean, like Thanos is gone; he doesn't have the stone anymore. So they gave it back to the ancient one in Endgame. So doesn't that mean like Strange has the time stone back?
No, because it still ends up being destroyed at some point in the time. Do you remember?
That's true.
Yeah.
Like I'm getting confused with the whole timeline thing because yeah, like Thanos destroyed it, and then they went back in time, so therefore they created like a brand new timeline where it never happened either, and that Thanos died too, and they still have all the Infinity Stones and everything, and
Hmm.
yeah,
That's probably why Kang is coming in. It's like, you guys are messing with the timeline.
yeah,
Stop.
I mean, isn't like the Loki show also like gonna be with that? With like, there's gonna be the
That's right. I forgot about the Loki show.
yeah. That's a separate
it's gonna
universe
be
too.
like
It's
time
like
enforcers, right, or something
Yeah,
like that.
Time Enforcers. Forgot the names.
Yeah, but they're essentially like time cops. It's like, stop messing with the timeline.
Yeah. So, so the messing with time introduces the multiverse. I like the idea.
yeah, because like
Yeah, I think that definitely. I think
Mhm.
I think that's a pretty how you say, not naturalistic, but
It's like poetry. It rhymes.
no, no, don't go George Lucas on me. Uh, I guess cohesive, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like it somehow feels all connected very well, right?
Mhm.
The events of Endgame messing with the timeline to stop that, to bring everybody back
Mhm.
causes a bunch of crazy shenanigans involving multiverse
Mhm.
stuff. Kang coming in, you got all this other stuff. It's essentially sort of like the timeline trying to rebalance itself.
Mhm. That sounds badass. So I got one more idea, and this is based off another comic, and it's literally the comic that brought me back into comics, specifically for Marvel. It was Jonathan Hickman's Secret Wars. So in this book, the whole idea is that the multiverse is imploding on itself. They're all crashing into one another. Here's the Ultimate universe, Miles' universe with all their heroes, and here's the 616 universe, our classic Marvel universe with all the characters we all know and love. They're all and the universes are coming in and sort of colliding into a big explosion to all goes white because there were some like weird, like super alien looking motherfuckers who can control like reality and shit, the multiverse. They found a way to fuck with it, and basically, Doctor Doom, Doctor Strange, and Molecule Man found a way to kind of save it. But Doctor Doom made like his own little world called Battle World, where it's like pockets of different multiverses in a planet. Like it's like a border, and each one's a different section, and it's all crazy shit. And like it's up to Mr. Fantastic, Star Lord, Captain Marvel, Black Panther, R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman, um, Cyclops imbued with the Phoenix Force, both Spider-Man going off to trying to figure out fight Doom because he's got the God powers now. He's called God Emperor Doom. Also, apparently, Thanos is back with his people, and all this crazy shit goes on, and basically ends with them resetting the universe.
I mean, I see that more like a
Infinity War Endgame kind of thing.
yeah, like that seems like the next big like epic finale base thing.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's got to be our finale.
Okay, all right. I think
That's where we're leading up to that.
all right.
I don't know. What do you think, Daniel?
I mean, I can see it. I mean, the Disney show they want to work with Sony for Spider-Man. They got everything, all the characters, to work together. They can bring in Doctor Doom, the Fantastic Four, and all the other characters. I could definitely see Secret Wars, being probably the biggest finale for this new generation of Marvel films.
Oh yeah, I'm already like excited that like I see the seeds being planted. I'm like, oh, we're gonna get it. Oh, we're gonna get it. I just want to see God Emperor Doom have like a talk with Thanos. Thanos being like, you don't deserve that God power. I know because I once had God power. And this just fucking Doctor Doom pulling a Mortal Kombat move, putting his hand through his chest and pulling out his spinal cord and skull attached to it still, being like, bitch, I got you. Say that again. Like that was like the coolest moment. He's just like, He just pulls out his skull and spinal cord still attached, and his body's just like deteriorating. I'm like, oh my god, that was bad. And then I don't know how they did Black Panther, but apparently in that book, God Emperor Doom and Black Panther with the Infinity Gauntlet battle throughout time and space. It was badass. I'm just like, I want this. I want this. You already tell. I want this. I want this live action now. I want it bad. I want it bad. I want to see fucking giant, all like an army of Hulks jumping from the helicarrier, going smash, and just like landing on the ground. Earthquake as big as And I'm gonna stop before I you know, I go off for too long. But no, those. Yeah, no, this is an awesome book. There's a lot of stuff that we can go into about them doing the multiverse. Let's face it, Marvel has dealt with the multiverse before.
We didn't even bring up Marvel zombie stuff.
Fuck.
I mean, I know that's gonna be like a what if thing, and potentially in the animated what if stuff, but like, it's possible we could see something like that, like at least a reference to it in live action form.
Daniel, that's your book.
Yeah, that is my book.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit, that would be a sick idea.
Oh my god, the possibilities are, the multiverse. The possibilities are endless.
Yeah,
and we know DC is planning to do theirs, which means we're gonna get two universes. You know, the whole DC multiverse and the Marvel multiverse. Oh my god, what if we get a Marvel vs. DC movie?
Sadly, I don't think the stars will align for that.
I mean, we got lucky to see Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse for Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I doubt they can work together again to have their superheroes collide with one another.
And as I recall, because I remember reading it, that they only allowed it because they both get the same number of lines.
Yeah, and Hugh Framed Roger Rabbit. Yeah, like I think they have the exact same amount of screen time and the exact same amount of lines.
Yeah, like I know it does apply to Mickey and Bugs. I don't know if it applied for like Donald and Daffy Duck too, but yeah, they have to have the same amount of screen time, same amount of lines. They can one up each other.
Mm-hmm. Which is funny because those two work together.
Yeah,
first time I've seen Mickey be evil.
Listen, Mickey's he's always been evil, Elliot. How else do you think he's been buying up all that stuff for Hollywood? Right?
Have you seen the South Park iteration of Mickey Mouse?
I mean, but yeah.
No, Jesus Christ, how cool would that be? Now that'd be like the end. Like this is the world is ending. Let's make this movie kind of movie.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems that has to. I think my other thing would be just like the rights deals.
Oh yeah, no,
like
too many rights.
I guess probably like the distribution of money.
Yeah.
Disney and Sony already have like beefs with the money distribution of money when it comes to Spider-Man. Just imagine if Warner Brothers and Disney somehow managed to work together to try to make a DC versus Marvel movie,
or Marvel DC crossover, some kind of
like some sort of crossover movie thing, and like imagining like who gets what, right?
Yeah,
like who like it's just a lot. I think it's just a lot more easier to work with in terms of the comic realm because I think it's a lot more easier to manage that.
Yeah, we all know who gets money on those. Yeah. But no, we're coming towards the end. This has been a fun one just because we just like brainstorming ideas. How cool would it be to have this, and that? Daniel wants a real horror thing with the Marvel zombies.
Yeah. I mean, holy shit,
just like,
it's dark.
I just yeah, no. Say that again, Daniel. I didn't hear you.
I mean, yeah, it gets crazy. I mean, especially with Spider-Man's side of the story in the Marvel zombies, it goes hardcore.
Oh yeah. I mean, Spider-Man's like. He's the only one from Marvel that has really dealt that much with the multiverse. We had like 2, maybe 3 different like stories about him in the multiverse, with him and all these spider people.
What about Clone Saga?
We don't talk about the Clone Saga, you son of a bitch.
What about it? I mean, that would be fun.
What saga? I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know about. I only know 2 clones, and that's Kane and Ben, and that's it.
What? What if that's Spider-Man 3? Listen, Clone Saga could have been good, right? The idea, like the concept, right, would have been cool, but in execution, right?
I'll give you that. You got to give him that though too, Daniel.
I will.
Yeah, it could have been a cool idea, but it went too damn long. Too many damn excuses. God damn it, Norman Osborn! I thought you finally died. But no, yeah, like we all, it's easy to sort of think just Spider-Man because he's the only one who's really dealt with the multiverse. I mean, Joe, you want to see Toei Spider-Man?
I just want to see people's reactions, like, what the hell is this? We thought Penny Parker was about as anime Spider-Man as you get, but no, you get the Toei Spider-Man. He has his own giant robot.
It's a goddamn Power Ranger,
basically. Yeah, that is pretty.
And I'm just thinking like big multiverse storyline, like fucking Secret Wars, and I doubt the movie will be like 1-to-1. That'd be so cool to see. It's a cool idea. I want to see more of it, and let's face it. So long as I can get my army of Hulks jumping from a helicarrier with, I don't know, say Bruce Banner being the first one to be like to call him out, say go to war, like world breakers, and then just like the whole army just jumps off and going smash, and then like I don't know, they're fighting an army of fucking Thors because apparently the police are Thors. So anyways, that's about it that we have. It's about time for us to go. If you enjoyed this, you can find us on social media through Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Twitter and Instagram are our big places to go to. If you go to Instagram and look at our bio, you'll find a link tree that leads you to all the podcast sites that we are 100% sure we're in, because we know we're in those, which is Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, Castbox, the whole galore. Also, we do have a Patreon, which means you can support this channel in whatever way you can. We have multiple tier lists. We do have an old Patreon video up, and we'll replace that with a new one. And if you're watching us on YouTube, for all you audio listeners, you can follow us on YouTube, where you can comment, like, subscribe, hit the like button, bell icon, all that kind of cool. All the stuff YouTube is known for. You can do all that, but still support us there. And yeah, it's been a fun one. We like to talk about multiverse. Who knows what we'll come up with for the next. The month of October, I'm trying to think about more scary stuff to talk about for the month of October. Yeah. Who knows? Might be just me and Daniel next time. I know, Joey, it's always good to have you. It's always good to have you, Daniel. But yeah, it's been your boy Eli.
It's been Joe.
Yeah, it's been your brother Daniel.
Never called you brother, but sure. And we are the Geek Centurions, and thank you for taking a chance to listen to us. Have a good one. Peace.